Hello and welcome to Against All Odds. My name is Rachel Mwenyeheli, and as you know, the program is dedicated at showcasing survivor stories, people who come through from different journeys of life, and they tell their stories right here on Against All Odds. And today we do have a cancer survivor. Sometimes when you think about cancer, we don't really understand the depth and how difficult it can be to walk this journey, and to come out as a survivor is definitely a miracle. But also you may be wondering, how do we actually get the guests that come through on this program? Well, joining me today to tell you how she also managed to be on this program, her name is Privilege. She is a cancer survivor. She survived stomach cancer. Privilege, thank you so much for joining us on Against All Odds. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for having me.
So, interesting story you have to share with us and with everyone else. How did you find out about Against All Odds?
Okay, my older daughter, Nokutenda, came one day when I was in the kitchen. Mama, there is this program. People are telling their stories, how they survived so many situations. I think, Mama, you also have a story to tell. And that's how I learned about this program. And from then, I think it was last year, from then, I've been following this program until this year when I decided, I think I also have to share my story.
Yeah, oh, that's amazing. And as you can see, it's very much so possible for you to share your story with us. If you'd like to share your story with us, it's very possible. All you need to do is to get in touch with the numbers that are appearing on your screen. But Privilege is here to tell us about being a cancer survivor, specifically stomach cancer.
Yeah.
Before we get to that stage where you found out that you had cancer, how was life like? Just a, brief background.
Okay.
Good, great.
I grew up a very talkative girl, born and bred in Marondera, in a family of 5. I'm the third child. My life was just okay. It was just okay. I went primary high school in Marondera. Then I went to Kushinka Pikelela Agri College. I'm a farmer, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after that, I then realized, this farming thing is not my thing. Let me go for teaching. Then I went to Belvedere Teachers College, and I'm a high school teacher. And then in 2014, I started my BSc in agriculture with specialization in animal science.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And from that time, I understand you were actually at university when you found out that you have cancer. How did this come about, and which year was this?
It was in 2016 when I started experiencing gastric pain, and the pain would not go even after some medication. Then my doctor decided that I have an endoscopy. Then I went for endoscopy, and when I went for endoscopy, that's when the doctor suggested that it was no longer ulcers. And then they had a biopsy to test for cancer. Then I had to wait. I think I had to wait for 2 weeks with the pain. And you can imagine, I was in pain. I was in pain, I tell you. I waited for the results. And when the results came, that's when my doctor then referred me to oncologist. And that was the first time I get to know that these cancer doctors are called oncologists.
Okay.
Yeah, so he referred me to oncologists. I phoned my sister, who's a nurse in Lawayo, asking where I can get these oncologists. So she referred me to a friend who's at Parerenyatwa, but she's in the radiology department. So I went to the radiology department, but when I got there, upon viewing my results, she then said, we don't treat this type of cancer here. You have to go to the hematology department because my cancer is blood related.
Okay.
So it's treated at the hematology department.
All right.
Yeah.
So you talked about, experiencing certain symptoms when it comes to gastric, which is basically your stomach area.
Yeah.
What are some of these symptoms? And previously, were they severe in terms of pain, or it was just manageable until the pokos are not, maybe the pain is a bit too much?
Okay, so in 2012, when I was pregnant with my first daughter, I started experiencing these gastric pains. And at one time, I remember vomiting blood after having this ginger beer fizzy. Yeah, and then I vomited blood. When I visited the doctor, he said it was normal with pregnancy, and then he just said I should quit taking these fizzy drinks. And it seemed working. And then I gave birth to my daughter. Then 4 years down the line, the pain would not go. The pain would not go, and it was severe. I was experiencing severe pain, and I had lost a lot of weight. And you can imagine, normally I'm 60, 61, 62 kgs, and then I was 40 kgs. I was losing weight every week. Every week when I went for checkups with my doctor, I've lost so much weight. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was, the stomach pain that you were experiencing, the vomiting of blood.
And passing dark stool.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you mean dark stool, almost like black?
Yeah. And they said it's a sign that I'm bleeding inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after having realized that something is not going too well, I mean, 40 kgs for an adult is really underweight. And if you're looking at which it is when every time pawaenda kwa doctor could check up, why she go for I want would you be able to eat chikafere kana you'd actually avoid certain foods?
I was not eating well. Ndakarara manema noodles, those instant noodles. They were very gentle with my stomach. Everything else was just too harsh for my stomach. So ndairara manema noodles. And ndagara ndiri slim. And now you can imagine myself at 40 kgs.
I don't want to imagine that. I'm looking at how slender you are right now.
You see?
And then I'm thinking at 40 kg,
but I still hoped for life. In that condition, I still hoped for life. Yeah.
Okay. Mentally, let's talk about when you found out and the doctor told you that you have cancer. How did you take it in at that point?
It was a bitter pill to swallow, I tell you. Because I just thought I was dying. That was the end of it. And when I was taken to the ward, I met other patients who started telling me, no, you will survive. We've been surviving. They had leukemia, those other ones. And I remember this other man who was telling me, it's now around 15 years with leukemia and I'm surviving. So they gave me a little bit of hope, but still I cried, I tell you. I cried that day and thinking of my little daughter. I'm going to leave this daughter. It was not an easy journey. But I thank God. Some of these scriptures kept me going.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the Bible itself.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're talking to Privilege, and she's talking about her journey as a cancer survivor when it comes to stomach cancer. Now, as she mentioned before, she said that she would experience different symptoms, including pain when she was eating, passing dark stool when she went to the bathroom, and she also lost a lot of weight. But having found out that she has cancer, the gastric one, stomach cancer that is, it was a bitter pill to swallow. When we come back from the break, we're going to find out the journey itself and how difficult it is when she was going through treatment and what kept her going. This is Against All Odds. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back. Back to Against All Odds. Now, Privilege continues to tell us her story about finding out that she has cancer, gastric cancer, also known as stomach cancer. This is basically cancer within the stomach. So now you found out that cancer is for Privilege. At what stage was this cancer? Exactly.
It was in the initial stages.
All right.
Yeah, because the doctors told me that it was localized within the stomach. It had not spread to any other parts of the body. Yeah.
And now we're coming to treatment. Obviously, now you're looking at, I have to go through treatment. And let's talk about the journey of treatment itself. What type of treatment did you receive, and how did the treatment go with you as an individual? We're talking about mentally, emotionally, physically. How was it like for you?
I'm a fighter. I don't accept defeat. So the doctors, first of all, told us about the side effects of chemotherapy.
Yes.
They told me that they were going to put me on chemotherapy. I was supposed to receive 6 cycles of chemotherapy. So they told me about the side effects. together with my husband. I was with my husband. They told us it may lead to infertility.
Okay.
I was going to lose my hair.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to affect my memory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was also going to affect my skin tone. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Those were the side effects which they told me about.
And which side effects did you get to experience during chemotherapy? And also for people to understand kuti kana tichiti chemotherapy, treatment yakaita sei? Ndeye mapirizi here, ndeye ma-injections here, ndeye kupiwa. Pane yatinoti tongona drip rinongoiswa vanhu vanenge vachienda through cancer treatment. Ndiyo yacho here yamaitwa?
Yes, inini ndaitwa chemotherapy yekuiswa intravenously. And then ndaizopuwa mamwe ma-drugs ekufighta the side effects.
All right.
The chemotherapy. Like I was given prednisolone after chemo. I would always have prednisolone. And prednisolone, I would take 20 tablets at one go. 20 tablets at one go.
20?
Yeah.
20 tablets at one go?
Yes, 20 tablets at one go. I don't know. I always say it's by the grace of God. Because I had devised a way of just taking them at once. Then I drink a lot of water. Then I will be done.
But gagging reflex,
yeah, I would experience that, but I would tell myself I have to be strong. And whenever I tell myself I have to be strong, for real, I would get things done.
So when you take 20 tablets at one go, was it once a day?
Yeah, it was once a day.
Okay,
just
so
once a day.
You'd have to find a time wekuti ndakushingira ndakufana kutora 20 yesekawanda.
Yeah. And I would usually take them after breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah, even if I'm at work, my colleagues knew after chemotherapy I would have to take those drugs. And I remember one colleague saying, "Hey, mukadzi uyu mutendai Mwari kana muchimuona aimbomwa mapiritsi akawanda kudarika chikafu chaaidya." You see. And the journey was not easy. I lost hair.
Okay.
I have a very small head. And you can now imagine that small head without hair. Yeah, the hair started falling, I think, on the 3rd day after chemo.
Okay.
Yeah, I started falling hair. And I accepted it. I remember going to my hairdresser with a head wrap. And then I said, "My friend, you have to make a wig for me. I can't go to work with this head wrap or this bald head. So you have to make a wig for me." So she prepared a wig for me. And I was now a wig person.
So you'd wear your wigs often because of the hair loss that you were experiencing?
I think it's only my husband and my parents who witnessed my bald head. Everyone else, I didn't show them. Because the day I showed my mother, I saw her fighting back tears. So I didn't want everyone else to be affected. So I kept my head with the wig, or if I'm not in wig, I'll be putting on a hat.
Head wrap. Okay. Yeah. A hat or a head wrap?
A hat, yeah. I had my favorite hat.
That you used to wear?
Yeah.
I mean, from the sound of it, it sounds like it was a very difficult journey because you're looking at your fighting weight loss. You're looking at the possibility that you might not have children again. You're looking at hair loss itself was something that must have been very difficult to accept.
Yeah, because you lose confidence, you know. I
can see that.
So my hair, I love my hair. I do my hair, I don't know how many times. I just love my hair. So now I'm supposed to be in my wigs. Yeah, I lost confidence somehow. And mentally, you are affected. Because sometimes you hear people talking, maybe she's gonna die. And people, I don't know what's wrong with people. They think when you're sick, you can't hear them. And it really affects you. And most of the times you cry alone. Yeah. So even after recovery, you still have a journey of healing mentally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many months was it for you to go through this particular treatment?
I think 5 months.
5 months
It was
of
from
treatment.
April, I think, to around September. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, as you can hear Privilege narrating her story, when she actually started treatment, some of the symptoms and negative side effects that she was actually experiencing due to the treatment of chemotherapy, like she said, imagine having to take 20 tablets at one go, at one sitting. It must not have been easy. And also talking about hair loss. Hair loss is something that's very serious because it also gives you confidence. It's part of your identity as an individual, and experiencing baldness because of the side effects of chemo. This is what she went through. When we come back from the break, we're going to see where we say she's come from being a victim to being a survivor. Don't you go anywhere. This is Against All Odds. Welcome back to Against All Odds, and we're talking to Privilege. Now, Privilege, having experienced, some of the things that she talked about, the side effects of chemotherapy, and the one thing that really affected her the most, like just as she mentioned just before the break, was hair loss itself, which was something that gave her confidence. Semuna ndakuchena aiti anchakwanisa kuchena zviya vamwe vakandiona ndisina kupfeka wig yangu, a head wrap cannot hat. She even said that her mother would sometimes feel like crying. So these are some of the things that she went through. Mentally, it wasn't easy, and of course she didn't want people to see you in a state of for them to think munhu anogona kutofa kauyu. And those are not easy words to hear, because we are human beings. We want to experience life, and death naturally is something that we fear. I can only imagine hearing that. But nonetheless, you went through chemotherapy.
Yes.
Nonetheless, you actually survived the treatment, having to take 20 tablets at one go. You survived that. You say, Diwewe, I'm a fighter, and you fought through the stomach cancer that you have. And now you're sitting here as a survivor of cancer. Have you gone through remission? Have you passed that stage yet?
This is my 8th year.
This is your 8th year after chemotherapy.
Yeah.
And look at you. How 40 kgs.
Yeah.
You look vibrant and healthy.
God is just great.
Tell me something. The doctor said that one of the things that you'd experience is infertility.
Yeah.
But there's a miracle that happened. Let's talk about that miracle.
Okay, so after chemotherapy, I had to go through CT scan. They wanted to confirm if there were no signs of malignancy. The CT scan was okay. They also said I should have another endoscopy. The endoscopy again confirmed there were no signs of cancer.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there I was. Then they were telling me I should come for reviews. I think it was after every month or so. Then I was going for my reviews. And with chemotherapy, the menses stopped.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like chemotherapy kills the whole system, even the useful cells. So there were no menses. And then I just got pregnant. I didn't know I was pregnant because my menses had not started.
So you're not menstruating, you're not going on your monthly menstrual cycle, your period, nothing.
Yeah.
But you got pregnant.
Yes. Then I started experiencing some funny feelings. Then I had a pregnancy test. I was pregnant. And then I told my doctors when I went for my reviews, I'm pregnant. They were disappointed. They were not happy. They told me it was too early because I should have waited for at least maybe 12 months. Because of some of these drugs, they are too powerful. And they were still within my system. So they were fearing they would affect the baby. And they were actually advocating for termination of the pregnancy. And so I requested if they could leave me with my baby. And they did. So they requested that I have scans so that they monitor. And when they see any abnormality on the child, then they were going to terminate the pregnancy. And 9 months came. I delivered a bouncing baby girl. And we named her Nenyasha. And she's a naughty girl, I tell you. She's a naughty girl. Yeah. And I was okay. And by the way, in 2017, I graduated I was in my final year when I was suffering from cancer. I was in my final year at university. And I graduated with an award. I was the best student in my intake.
So wait, you were on your sick bed.
Yeah.
When we were in my lectures, you are trying to treat this obviously, and your mind is not focused on anything else. It's focused on getting better.
Yes.
And you still come out as the best student in your class.
Like I told you, I'm a fighter. I don't accept defeat. That's me. That's me. And I think it's one thing people should just have in their lives. Be a fighter. Don't easily accept defeat. Because the moment you accept defeat, definitely if you're sick, you will die. And I remember one day, my tongue was like going back. It was closing my throat. And I think that day I was nearly dying. And that day I had given up. Yeah, I had given up because I had told my husband, when I die, take my child to this and that. Yeah, I had accepted defeat, but I just thank God. We prayed, my parents prayed, and I was okay the following day. Yeah.
So it's all about being a fighter.
Yeah.
And look at you now. We've got our blessing, Nenyasha, right? A miracle baby.
She's actually Nenyasha blessing.
Oh, she's Nenyasha blessing.
Yeah.
It's a double one, definitely. And you even came out as the best student as well.
Yeah.
Look at you. You know, I want you to, to tell people, okay, someone, that when it comes to cancer, sometimes the first thing that we hear is about when cancer. What do you want to say to people out there when it comes to cancer?
Okay, people should pay attention to their bodies.
Okay.
And don't ignore any abnormality within your body. It's good to seek treatment early. Manje, people are afraid of visiting hospitals. Yeah. Until muno ozoenda ku hospital, it's now too late. Cancer can be treated. Yeah. I'm a survivor. I've gone through all that. And I survived. So cancer can be treated. Just seek medical attention early. Don't ignore any pain within your body. Any abnormality, you should seek attention, medical attention. Yeah.
Well, there you are, Privilege. If I tell you that Privilege is coming through all the way from Marondera, and she came right here to Harare Pocket Hill to tell us her story about being a cancer survivor. So I want to say to you, Privilege, thank you so much for sharing your story with us right here on Against All Odds. I truly can feel it, even from the way you are narrating it, even when I look at you, that you are definitely a fighter. And look at the blessings that have come out of this. Sometimes we may go through a particular journey and think, you even said it, there's a time you had actually given up, but through prayer from your parents, through the support system that you had from your husband and everyone else around you, you managed to fight this and you came out as a survivor, a cancer survivor. And you also have a blessing. You might not be able to have children, but tana nenyasha arikumba, nenyasha blessing, who's definitely a blessing. And you also came out as the best student despite all the odds that you actually faced. So thank you so much for sharing this inspiring story with us.
Thank you, Rachel.
Great. And as you heard from Privilege, we also can be supportive to our family and friends who might be going through a difficult journey, especially when it comes to cancer. Let us support them. They go through a very difficult time. But one thing that Privilege mentioned that is very, very important is for you to seek early treatment. Sometimes you can ignore, but if you see that some things are bit persistent, it is always important to visit a healthcare professional who can be able to assess you so that you can get early treatment, which is important. This is Against All Odds, and we share stories from all over Zimbabwe. Like Privilege, she's come through from Marondera, and if you would like to share your story with us, well, you're more than welcome to. Simply get in touch with us on the numbers that are appearing on your screen, and you can come through and inspire someone out there. Until next time, my name is Rachel Manyeheli. This is Against All Odds.